Creating a fresh new look to your landscaping. That's what we're focusing on here today. We're in South Bend, Indiana. We're in a community that's been, well, 15 or 20, 25 years in the making. And Mark Linton, this is the perfect time for you to come in and give some of these homes a fresh new look. At about 15 or 20 years, you start thinking about that, don't you?
That's typically the age range of when landscapes start looking a little tired.
Yeah, and you've done multiple homes in this subdivision.
Yes, we have.
Which is pretty cool, and one leads to another. You know how that works, and I tell you, when you do a good job, you get those kinds of referrals. A lot going on here. What did you experience when you first arrived here, though?
Well, the homeowners, number one, they wanted to make sure that it was a low maintenance landscape, and number two, they wanted nonstop seasonal color. And so we've got a lot of flowering things in here. We've got spring blooming, summer blooming, things for fall color, as well as winter interest, which we call the bones of the landscape.
Yes. Well, the low maintenance part is especially intriguing. You didn't see a lot of low maintenance when you arrived here, though, did you?
You know what? When the house was originally built, there wasn't a lot of thought that went into the landscape design. And the homeowners were sharing with me that the windows were actually halfway covered up with overgrown plant material.
You really don't want that, do you?
Absolutely not.
No.
So we've made sure that that's not going to happen again.
All right, creating a fresh new look to your landscaping. Mark, let's get rolling here. And you've done some nice work around the tree here.
Yes, a couple of things. We wanted to make sure that it was easy to mow and maintain around this flowering crab tree. So we expanded the bed so that you can get a lawnmower around here and not knock your head with the lower branches. And because of the shaded light conditions here, we've got some of our variegated hostas, and these are not the green and white variegated hostas. These are green and gold, which I absolutely love, that gold variegation there. Now these are just starting to wake up from dormancy, and so in a few weeks they're going to be about 3 to 4 times that size.
Green and gold hostas here in South Bend. That goes over big time, doesn't it, with Notre Dame in the background?
Yes, yes. Nice splash of gold there.
Expanding the beds is important, isn't it?
Yes, the beds actually were up rather close to the house, and we like to have a nice flow here. We've got our commercial grade edging, which does a great job of staying in the ground. It's easy to mow along, and that also keeps the stone ground cover from jumping out into the lawn.
Gotcha. Talk about some of the other selections here, Mark.
Okay. Well, one of the challenges here, Craig, is these windows actually come quite low to the ground and only have about 1.5 feet of height here. And so to ensure that we've got longevity in our new landscape, we've got some low maintenance evergreens here that actually aren't going to get much taller than about 12 inches in height. These are called Andorra junipers, and it's more of a ground cover type of evergreen. You're going to get more growth horizontally than what you are vertically. And then for a splash of color, we've got some perennial flowers incorporated in here, and also they're just coming up from their dormancy. And so the one in front of you, the one over here, and then there's a third one to the viewer's right. These are going to have combination of yellow and red colored flowers. These are called Jethro Tull coreopsis, and they will bloom spring, summer, and fall, and they create a nice little mounding shape and effect. And that will give us a pop of color in front of the evergreens, which are the bones to our landscape.
Mark, you know, along the way, the homeowners, they offer all kinds of input, I'm sure. How much input did they give you about what they wanted to see here today?
You know what, some of the customers we work for, they're avid gardeners. They give me a whole long laundry list of plants, trees, and shrubs that they want to have incorporated. These homeowners, however, they've seen our designs and our installations at other places, and other than requesting that we have nonstop seasonal color and a balanced kind of symmetrical type of look to go along with the home's formal architecture, those are really the only requirements, as long as we created a low maintenance landscape for them.
Gotcha. Pretty much gave you full license to do whatever you felt needed.
They did. Totally trusted me.
I like that. What else is going on?
Well, we are framing the windows. We've got a pair of columnar Hicks IUs, and Craig, these are going to continue to grow up. Eventually, I'd like to see them about 4.5 to 5 feet in height. They're going to do a nice job of framing this window. We also like a difference of shades of green. Of course, this is more of a dark emerald green. We've got more of a chartreuse green with Andorra junipers. And those actually change color in the fall and the wintertime. They're one of the few evergreens that turn colors with the change in the temperatures. Those will kind of take on more of a purplish plum type of color.
Very good. And as we get closer to the door here,
yeah, again, we're going with a formal balanced type of look, very symmetrical. Got a couple of little miniature patio trees here. These are globe blue spruce patio trees. They do a nice job of framing the entrance. And then if you look down around the base of them, we have some of our purple coral bells. Again, they're perennials. They're just starting to come up from their winter dormancy. They'll get to be about 3 to 4 times that size. They do a nice job of mounding. And the best thing is that they maintain those burgundy colored leaves all spring, summer, and fall. And then as an added bonus, they have spikes of pink flowers that appear late spring and summertime, and those attract both hummingbirds and butterflies.
you've reminded us of that when we've been inside the conservatory.
That's right.
Hey Mark, you finished up this job about a week or so ago. It's still plenty of time in the season to create something like this if you just started at the very beginning, right?
Yes. To go along with the low maintenance theme here, Craig, these are some of our blue star junipers, a little miniature dwarf evergreen. For the next 15, 20 years, homeowners not going to have to do any pruning to them. Gets a whopping 12 inches tall and a couple feet in width. Does a nice job of mounding itself and maintains the blue color 12 months out of the year. What we wanted to do was soften the concrete that you see behind here, but then the homeowner does a great job with the annual flowers and really didn't want any height to hide the annual flowers back there. And because these are in the evergreen family, they will do that 12 months out of the year.
So the homeowner did have some input here, right?
They did.
They like doing that occasionally. What's
So
next?
to go along with the formal look, the 3 Andorra junipers that we have on the viewer's right, we've also continued that here underneath the base of this window. And then they asked for a small little miniature tree for this area, but again, they didn't want to block the window behind us here. And so perfect spot here for a red Japanese lace leaf maple. It is kind of the wow of the landscape here. This really shouldn't get much taller than 5-6 feet in height. Grows incredibly slowly. This happens to be one that we grew at our nursery. It's approximately 12 years old.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I was going to ask you how tall that would get. So somewhat taller, but not huge.
Yeah, that just grows a couple inches each year. So extremely slow growing. We also have some of our low maintenance roses here. These are our drift roses, and they'll be putting out over 2,000 blooms with bright red colored flowers. They're going to stay low as well. And then some perennial flowers, which are just starting to have a little pop of color. These are cottontail thrift. Nice little grass-like type of foliage. And then the taller spikes, stems with the flowers that will be hovering over the top. Craig, these bloom in the springtime and continue to bloom throughout the summertime. And then just for some contrast of texture, we've got the boulder tucked underneath the lower branches of the Japanese maple.
No speaker under that boulder.
No, that's the real thing.
The real thing. What about the turn here, Mark?
Yeah, we're accenting the corner here with a dwarf Alberta spruce, low maintenance little dwarf evergreen. Grows into kind of the pyramidal Christmas tree type of shape. Homeowners really not going to have to do any pruning to that. Eventually, I'd like to see that get to be about 6-7 feet in height.
Okay, very good, very good. And then along the garage here, you've got some interest too.
Yeah, this was one of the challenges because it's such a narrow area. That we've only got about 36 inches here to work with. And when you stand back, you look at the side of the garage from the street. We've got the 2 windows again. We're looking for balance and symmetry. And so what you see on one side, you also see on the other side. Underneath these 2 garage windows, we've got a pair of gold thread cypress, and those will have a little splash of gold 12 months out of the year, and they're going to be easily maintained below the bases of the windows. On each corner, Craig, we've got some of our fine line buckthorns, and these only get to be about 2 feet in width.
And you've got the little fan look going on here, don't
you? Yes, we do. And this is one of our burning bush that we train into a unique shape. We use these fan shapes in challenging areas like this. We call it our fan burning bush. And I particularly like the cork-like type of bark on here, which is real obvious during the fall and the winter time after it's lost its leaves.
Yeah, very nice, Mark. And as we get down to the very end here, a peek around the side.
Yeah, just like on the other corner of the garage, we've got our Dwarf Alberta Spruce. We've got a repeat of our Drift Roses. We've got Coreopsis, which will start blooming here very shortly. And then to make mowing easy and just to do a nice extension of the landscape on the corner of the garage, we put in this landscape bed here.
Very good.
And this happens to be one of our little dwarf Hinoki cypress. Again, Craig, a low maintenance type of evergreen that just naturally shapes itself, along with a trio of dianthus, which will bloom all throughout the spring and summertime.
You've done a nice job creating a fresh new look for this homeowner, Mark.
Well, thank you.
I bet they're happy, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
If you'd like to find out more, of course, you can connect with Linton's. Go online if you'd like at lintons.com or call Mark directly and he'll come out and take good care of you. Again, congratulations. Nice job, Mark.
Thanks, Craig.
Much more coming up on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.